Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Resilient Immigrant Q3 info session. I'm Bewa Jigbadibo and I serve as Resilient Immigrant. It is such a joy to have you here as we shine light on the work we are doing to support, elevate, and connect immigrants across different stages of their journey. Today, you will hear more about who we are, what we do, and how you can be part of this mission. Whether you're an immigrant navigating your next steps, a professional looking to give back, or simply someone passionate about equity and community. We are especially excited. Thomas Michael, who was featured in our interview series, Kyle Park, a leading voice in our workforce development workshops, Ayomide Ibrahim, an active speaker in our economic empowerment workshops. Their experiences and insights of what resilience looks like in action. And we are excited to have them with us today. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll then move forward to the next segment of today, different programs. First on the list is the Resilient Interview, one of our storytelling-based programs designed to capture and share the lived experiences of immigrants, the real journeys behind the resumes, the setbacks, and the breakthroughs. This platform gives space for honest conversations, unexpected career talks, and the kind of wisdom getting life in a new system. One of those voices is Thomas Michael, whose story is a powerful reflection of what it means to stay the course, lean into the growth, and lead with resilience. Thomas, we are so honored to have you with us today. Please go ahead and introduce yourself briefly. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Thomas Miko. I'm the director of sales for a big multinational company. A short disclaimer, I apologize for my looks and for being a little unprepared. I recently suffered an injury. I had a surgery on my foot, so I cannot walk without a walker or crutches. So it's been a challenge, but that's besides the point. And that's another challenge, right? Because life and the immigrant path throw challenges at you. But overcoming them makes you stronger. It's about emerging victorious from those struggles. And that's really the core belief that has shaped my life, really, and my immigrant journey, right? In 1999, I bid farewell to the timeless charm of the Czech Republic, driven by a singular purpose, to forge a new beginning in an unfamiliar land, ready for whatever lay ahead. Little did I know then the immense reserves of resilience and constant reinvention I would need to merely adapt, but I would need not to merely adapt, but to genuinely flourish. Everyone in my interview is also available online, obviously on the website, so please feel free to read it if you're interested. So my arrival in the United States brought an initial surge of excitement for the new opportunities available. But it was quickly tempered by the stark realities of a new society, the intricate systems, subtle cultural nuances and differences, the unspoken rules that I wasn't aware of. These weren't found in any guide. You had to live them, you had to experience them in order to learn them and navigate them. They were lessons learned through lived experiences. I navigated bureaucratic mazes and encountered unexpected red tape, soon realizing that my education and knowledge weren't just assets, they were essential lifelines. With each step I put in the effort, I pursued understanding. I sought answers, I simply kept moving forward. There were certainly very many surprises, I can tell you that, but each one ultimately fortified me. Like countless other immigrant narratives, my professional trajectory was far from conventional. So my entry into the corporate sales world began surprisingly at a local dog park, but that's not how I started in the United States. I started in the United States back in 1999. I got my visa as a student. I wasn't going to stay here for a long time. I was going to stay maximum six months. But life happened. I started working menial jobs. I never went to school. I fell in love. I eventually got my paperwork in order, but then I realized if I really want to be someone I should eventually pursue what I came here for originally, and that was education, right? So I did my bachelor's at the University of Minnesota. I was always very internationally minded, always looking at maps and atlases, meeting people from around the world. And so for my master's, I did get accepted to American University School of International Service in Washington, D.C., and I got my master's in international affairs. I studied to be a diplomat, really. But my second go around at this corporate world, because obviously when I graduated back in 2012, the economy was down and it just wasn't easy to get a job either as a government contractor or in the government itself. So my entry into the corporate sales world began surprisingly at the local dog park. A chance encounter there led to a pivotal conversation, which in turn opened the door. I walked right through it, from being an individual salesman to eventually leading teams. I steadily continued to climb the ranks. Today, I'm the director of sales for a multinational corporation, guiding strategies, overseeing teams, and contributing to global business decisions. It all truly began with that unexpected meeting and my readiness to boldly step into an unforeseen opportunity. If you were to ask me about my proudest achievements, my job titles or awards wouldn't be my first response. Instead, I'd speak of earning my master's degree from a respected US university, as I mentioned, and of establishing a secure and thriving life for my family. Also, of the profound satisfaction that comes from excelling at what I do. It's more than just enduring the immigrant experience, it's about fully embracing it. So I've pretty much personally forged my own resilience. It instilled confidence. It taught me to welcome change rather than fear it. So, like, if there's a change in life, I embrace it. I'm not afraid of it, as people usually are. For me, resilience isn't just a concept, it's a mental muscle I developed every time I faced uncertainty and deliberately chose to advance. My driving forces are a clear vision of a brighter future, an unwavering commitment to my family and to my friends, my personal ambition that never settles. I'm a very ambitious person. I push onward because I understand the scope of what's possible, because I've witnessed rewards that lie beyond persistent effort. I'm sorry, I have to adjust my foot. Okay. And I will not sugarcoat it. The path is not always smooth, but my message is sincere, heartfelt, and deeply rooted in my own journey. Don't relent, don't surrender, don't fall into despair. Be resilient, be strong, leverage every resource, every tool, network, organization, and the guidance of any available mentors to you. Propel yourself forward. You are not in this alone. So I would like to turn this to Q&A. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Thomas. Thank you so. We'll go ahead and ask you questions and the insights you've gathered along the way in your immigrant journey. First on the list is, what was one mindset shift that has helped you adapt quickly in your early days in the United States?
Was a mindset that helped me. Yeah, so the mindset was forget everything you know when you came here from your previous life and start learning new things. It was about apprehension. It was about learning. So yeah, forget everything you know and learn what's new around you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Another is, what's one core principle that has helped you stay focused and move forward in moments of uncertainty?
So one of the core principles that helped me still focus and move forward in moments of uncertainty. Well, I guess for me it was that failure is not an option, right? I've been there, I've done that. I'm not saying it wasn't it wasn't always a rosy walk in the park for me, right? There were challenges, as I said. But that would be the core principle. Like, failure is not an option. Just gotta keep moving. Gotta be resilient, right? It's what's really in the name of your organization, resilient.
Yeah, thank you. And lastly, what would you say to someone who is just starting their journey in a new country?
Mm. Well, just again, look at your name of your organization. Be resilient, right? You are not alone. There's people who can help you. Reach out to resources. Look for mentors. Look for likely-minded people that you just came here to, so you can forge the journey together. Look to experienced immigrants like myself and others that have been here and done this and can help you, right? It's about
Yeah.
utilizing your resources, not giving up, being resilient, and having a purpose. I would say that's also important. Have a purpose.
Thank you once again, Thomas, for your reflections. Your experience truly embodies the which we aim to amplify to our work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So another key part, thank you so much. We move forward to another key part of our mission, our resilient immigrants, which is the professional empowerment, helping immigrants not just survive, but thrive in their careers. That's where our workforce development workshop series comes in. This session focuses on career clarity, modern job search tools, and navigating workplace culture with confidence. We create space for real talk, practical strategies, and the kind of guidance immigrant professionals often don't get access to early on. And one of the voices who has shaped and helped this space is Carl Patrick Smith, a dynamic HR expert, author, speaker, and the CEO of HR Carl LLC. Kyle has been a consistent presence in our workshops, equipping people who are immigrants with tools they need to stand out and succeed in today's workforce. His energy, insight, and genuine passion for helping others always leave a mark. Carl, we really appreciate and we're glad to have you here with us again. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, share a bit about your background and the work you do. Carl, please go
Wonderful,
ahead.
Bawaji. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here again with Resilient Immigrant. This community is
Thank
incredibly
you.
important and incredibly important to me as well. I'm honored to contribute to these conversations that support and uplift immigrant professionals. A little bit about me. I'm Kyle Patrick Smith, founder and CEO of HR Kyle Services. Prior to forming HR Kyle, I was 25 years in corporate HR leadership roles across a lot of different industries. Really created HR Kyle to provide real world, people first HR and talent solutions. Our business is focused on B2B services and talent management. So we get involved in talent acquisition consulting, full cycle recruitment. We also sponsor internship programs, employee supervisor and HR training, succession planning, and outplacement services. So we really work with companies across this full employee life cycle, from hiring to development to career transitions. And we really want to build strong, inclusive, high performance teams in the organizations that we support. One of the other parts of the organization that I'm especially proud of are our B2C services, or our business to consumer services. There we work with job seekers, and a large percentage of them are immigrants in various stages of coming to the U.S. Some are planning a move to the U.S., some are currently here as students. Some are in their process of becoming citizens, and others have just gotten their citizenship and they're excited to see where their career goes. So, from a candidate standpoint, we work with a lot of people that have been immigrants or are immigrants. So, we're proud of that. Relative to our support of Resilient Immigrant, one of the talks that I've hosted here focused on resume guidance for immigrants. And as we know, one of the biggest challenges many immigrants face is just simply getting their resume noticed. In that session, we focused on how to present international experience in a way that U.S. employers quickly understand and value. And as Tomas mentioned, sometimes you have to forget everything that you learned from where you came and make it work for the U.S. So that's a big focus of that talk, is making sure your experience says and speaks in a way that will get you noticed in the US. So we talked about the importance of moving beyond job descriptions to highlight measurable achievements in your resume. So it's like saying reduced onboarding time by 30% instead of just saying that you trained new employees, for example. We also addressed how to translate international job titles and credentials, to use the right keywords to pass through applicant tracking systems and handle resume gaps or transitions with confidence and clarity. Now, another talk that I've recently given with Resilient Immigrant is career change and transition for immigrants. Now, in that discussion, we focused on the fact that you're not starting over, you're actually building forward. So we explored how to identify and communicate transferable skills across industries and roles that you've held before into roles that you can work here in the US. And this is even when your past titles don't directly match job postings in the US. I also shared real strategies for gaining credibility quickly through certifications, volunteering, and community leadership, and how these efforts can fill perceived gaps while also strengthening your brand. Finally, we dove into relationship-based networking. This is where your goal isn't just to send out cold messages, but to truly connect with people who see your value and want to help you succeed. And I can assure you, there are plenty of people that fall into that category. Now, I'm proud to support Resilient Immigrant and this mission that they hold. These conversations like today that we're having, they really matter. And more importantly, so do you. If I can ever be a resource to you in your career journey, please don't hesitate to connect. And thank you again today for Resilient Immigrant having me as part of this discussion. I'm happy to take any questions that the audience may have.
Thank you so much, Kyle. And yeah, we have questions for you. So the first question on my list, from your years in HR, was one insight that separates candidates who get noticed from those who get overlooked?
Yeah, it's really demonstrating your value. It's demonstrating your value when you create your resume. It's demonstrating your value when you're in an interview. And the best way that you can do that is tell your stories. So what are the stories that talk about the value that you delivered in your prior roles? So in every conversation you have, and as you think about your job search, think about the value that you added in prior roles that you held. And those are always transferable. Those are messages that carry across borders and around the world.
Thank you so much. Next, we have you've seen thousands of resumes. What's one simple tweak that can instantly elevate a candidate's profile?
Waji, do you mind repeating that question?
Okay, I said you've seen thousands of resumes, right? So,
Yeah.
what's one simple tweak, one adjustment that can instantly elevate a candidate's profile?
Yeah, it really is having a nice, clean, easy to read resume. Get away from including pictures, get away from having fancy fonts and all those things, and just have a very clean document that's quick and easy to read. And again, highlights your accomplishments.
Thank you so much. And lastly, when job markets are evolving fast, what's one intentional step professionals should take to stay competitive and confident?
Yep. Always be networking. Even when you have a job or you're in a place where you're happy and you're content at that point, always be making additional professional connections and make sure that you're nurturing those. The key with connecting is give as much as you take. Give as much as you want to get. And I always find if I give more, I tend to get more back. So I approach my relationships with the idea of how much can I give to that other person? How much do I have to offer to them? With no expectation that I'll ever get anything back. But ironically enough, in those situations, I always tend to receive more than I've ever given. So always be networking and always be making professional connections.
Much. I really appreciate the insights you've given us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Take
At
care.
this
Be
point,
well.
we'll transition to the next segment where we'll be hearing from my colleagues as we continue highlighting the impact of our program.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bella. That was a really insightful session. So we'll move on to economic empowerment. Now, our economic empowerment workshop, they consist of sessions that center on financial literacy, business growth, income building strategies tailored to immigrants. Now, these workshop sessions have been thoughtfully curated to serve early stage business owners, self starters, and individuals determined to turn vision into a sustainable enterprise. Now, the person that we are highlighting for our economic empowerment workshop, who has worked with us so many times, is Ayomide Ibrahim. He's a passionate advocate for financial literacy, economic justice, and immigrant advancement, with strong backgrounds in community engagement and personal finance education. He has worked with individuals and grassroots organizations to build tools, habits, and confidence around money. We believe that economic power is a critical part of thriving as an immigrant and as a person, and Ayurveda's workshops have reflected that. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Ayurveda Ibrahim to give us a brief introduction to his work, what he has done, and the accomplishments that he has made for Resilient Immigrant.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Um, there's a noise in the background. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ayomide Ibrahim, and I'm the CEO and Head of Operations at FinServ Pro, a financial services company promoting financial inclusion for everybody. Yes, we say that we provide services for all, but in all honesty, we have a bias for immigrants, especially the resilient one. Yeah, so I'm a Nigerian. I immigrated to the United States from Nigeria in 2018. Yes, September 2018, and I mean it's one of the best decisions I ever took. Leaving, my country to come live here and work here in the United States. And I use the word live because we honestly have to be intentional about that word. Because a lot of the times, what I see is that immigrants only exist here. Uh, we come here with no purpose in mind. A lot of us left our countries because it's not good enough to live in. And then we are just looking for an escape route. And then we find ourselves in this country. Uh, it's very, very unusual for you to find an immigrant who would intentionally leave, their country with everything being okay and saying, you know what, I'm going to the UK, I'm going to the US because I have a purpose to fulfill there. Uh, But then someone like me, I would say, got lucky because, yes, I left Nigeria because I wanted a greener pasture. But I said I got lucky because purpose found me, not that I found my purpose. Um, but my purpose was able to find me because of the pattern of life that I've been living. Um, I have a background in accounting and finance. Uh, I'm a chartered accountant, as we call it back home. And before coming to the US, having to ensure that everyone around me are financially literate has been my cause. I always say to my friends and family back then, I despise illiteracy, especially financial illiteracy. And because of this pattern of life, I purpose found me here in the United States because it took me less than 2 years to identify that immigrants in this part of the world need to be financial literate. I come in here and then I hear of people being in this country for 10, 20, 3 decades with no home. Some don't even have insurance. So after 2 years, I told myself, Ayo, it's time for you to activate who you have always been, even before you came to this country. And that is how we founded FinSA Pro in 2021. We provide full service financial services for individuals and businesses. Our company is established with a clear purpose to offer professional, reliable, and transformative financial support that empowers our clients, mostly immigrants, to move from uncertainty to stability. We heard from our first speaker who talked about uncertainty. Leaving your country to a country like the United States, for example, is a lot of uncertainty involved. But then, can you eventually become stable? The answer is yes. If you know uh, what you want for yourselves. Um, Most people don't put themselves in an environment for them to grow. And that takes me to where our last speaker, what he mentioned about networking. You can't afford to leave your country and come to a country like the United States, and all you do is wake up in the morning, go do your job, and then come back home. And then you repeat the same cycle. You will never, ever, ever grow. And that is one thing that I did. Uh, After coming here, I moved away from that, circle where people just believe all you need to do is to repeat a particular cycle of just go to work, come back home, eat, sleep, the same thing the next day. I moved away from that. And as I mentioned, that allowed for the purpose that even a company, an organization like Resilient Immigrant saw in us and felt like we need to relate with this individual. And that being said, I honestly want to thank everyone, organizers of this organization. You guys are doing a fantastic job. For example, what you are doing this morning is allowing for voices to join and make something happen. Because if other immigrants don't hear stories like that of our first, second, and my story, they wouldn't understand and know what is possible. So what you guys are doing right now is showcasing possibilities for other immigrants to see that stability is possible, success is possible in the face of uncertainty. And I honestly applaud every of what you're doing, and I hope we can continue to work together to ensuring that immigrants are not left behind. I'm not sure if you know the estimate of immigrants that we have in the United States, for example. In the US, we have over 80 million immigrants. And when I say 80 million, I mean those who came here with their children, children they actually maybe they brought from their country, children they that they have here. We have over 80 million. Some countries don't even have up to 5 million, meaning within the United States, we have what I refer to as the immigrant nation. And with that, there is endless opportunities for organizations such as the Resilient Immigrant in making its mark. And I want to wish you, guys, the very, very best. Here at FinServe Pro, we provide four major services. We provide tax services for businesses and individuals. We provide loans opportunity. You need a business loan, you need a mortgage loan. I woke up to two messages this morning, and there are messages that gave me this mixed feeling. The first one I saw this morning is, "Good morning, sir. I want to let you know that I was able to close on the new house successfully. Thank you so much for all your support and help, towards achieving this. Achieving this, I so much appreciate you, sir. Kindly let me know when I can come see you." This is one of our clients that we assisted in moving into our new home. This lady bought a lot, and we were able to get her a loan to get what we call a construction loan to build the house, and now she has moved in. And then the other message that I got this morning, which was not a good message, is, "Morning, Chief. I just want to let you know that my wife passed away 2 days ago. As you know, she had fought this cancer for about a year and a half, but unfortunately, it finally took her." This is also another client who invited me for a wedding ceremony. He's told me the wife is battling cancer, for years, and I think about 3 months ago, he invited me. He said they just want to have a wedding ceremony in a church, before she passed. And the very day that Champions League final, I can remember, between PSG and Inter Milan, I was in that church for that wedding ceremony. Beautiful wedding ceremony, beautiful. And the lady passed 2 days ago. What am I saying, right? Uh, life is not life is not endless. And as endless as it is not endless for each of us. We would come and we would go. Now, as an immigrant, when you find yourself in a new country, like the country that we live in, you have to do everything to transfer your risk: life insurance, property insurance. We have, in fact, we have, debt insurance. We call it um, the like the final stage insurance, right? These are what you should try to do when you find yourself in a new country. Try to understand the system and how it works, and which is what the resilient immigrant and companies like ours is helping you achieve. And we hope that we can keep, collaborating. And yeah, I wish everyone the very best here. Thank you for having me.
We appreciate the wonderful introduction you've given. Before we proceed, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
Your words of encouragement, and it's always nice to see messages that portray,
My
good
colleague is going to ask
financial,
you the questions that
you.
we have on the list.
Okay, if you can hear me, then my first question is for those looking to start a small business, what practical first steps would you recommend?
Yeah, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, are you ready to run the business? Uh, it is one thing for you to start a business. It is another thing for you to run it. And I say that because I see a lot of people, wake up with ideas and then they ring us up. Oh, I have an idea. I want to start a business. And then they get this business registered. And for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, they've done nothing. And for those 3 years, in most states, you have to, file what we call the annual form. In Maryland, for example, an annual form every year costs you $300, right? So how do you start a business? You've not made any money, you've not done anything, but then you are paying $300 every year to keep the business active. That doesn't make sense. So the first thing I ask client these days is, are you ready to start running this business immediately? That's a very, very important, step. And if the answer is yes, yes, do you have a name? Do you have a good name? What is the purpose of the business? Do you have an address? For example, what state do you want to organize this business? But as I mentioned, the first step is for you to ask yourself, am I ready to start running this business immediately?
Okay, thank you. What are a few key financial tools or habits you believe every person or every immigrant should adopt early on in?
Oh, the most important one for me is you living within your means. Living within your means. I say this because I see a lot of us come from our countries and then we start earning these dollars, right? And then the next thing we start doing is buying stuff just to show off, you know, buying expensive clothes, uh, some of us expensive cars. I've seen people buy items that they don't even need. So when you to succeed financially, you have to live. In fact, sometimes I even say below, live below your means. Live below your savings, investment. A lot of us don't do this. Like we, the culture where we come from, where we don't invest because we believe, banks or whatever financial institution we put in our money will take our money away. We bring those culture here, and then we don't save, we don't invest. We make this money, and then we spend the money. And when it is time for you to make an actual move, towards the real American dream, buying a home, for example, we don't have the savings to have a down payment. I've had conversations with individuals a lot of the times. They want to buy these homes, but they don't have investment. And my question is, what have you been doing the past 4, 5 years that you've been in this country that you cannot even provide a $25,000, $30,000 investment? And go check the cars that they are driving. Some of them are driving cars worth of 60,000. How can you have a car where you pay over $1,000 every month and you are living in a rented apartment? Right? So for anyone in this part of the world to succeed financially, you have to embrace savings and investment. It is very, very important. Live within your means. Have a budget. Have a budget. When I make my money, this is what goes into consumptions. This is what goes into savings. This is what goes into investment. There are three different things. And if you don't balance the equation, you would just realize that you are here 10, 20 years, nothing to show for it. And then the other thing I want to advise a lot of us here, when you leave your country to come to the United States or any country, seek first to succeed in that country. Don't have, your mind here. You are living here, but your mind is in Nigeria. You are living here, your mind is in Cameroon. You are making money here, you are taking the money, pushing it back to Cameroon, to people's hands that you don't even know how they are helping you manage your funds. There's a lot of things I can say about that, but let me just keep it short because of our time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the insight, sir. We really appreciate now the time, to come on this session with us, and we hope that Resilient Immigrants and your company can work for many more years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I'll be here again.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. Please move to the next slide. Okay. So at Resilient Immigrants, our work thrives through shared voices. We're inviting you to become a speaker, whether you're a professional, a storyteller, or someone with lived experiences. Your voice matters. Join us in creating spaces for knowledge sharing and inspiration. So if you think that you fit into the categories that I just mentioned, please do well to scan the QR code to join the Resilient Immigrants as a speaker, because here we try to impact as many people as we can through our shared experiences, our stories and whatever we might have. Resilient Immigrant partners with ethnic community-based organizations, also known as ECBOs, to help them design, expand, and sustain impactful programs that support immigrants and refugee communities. We provide the tools, strategy, and support needed to strengthen organizational capacity and build thriving communities. Here, we are committed to supporting ethnic community-based organizations rather. We provide strategic guidance, help with program design and delivery, and offer capacity building support. So if you're out there listening, if you lead or work with an ECBO, you can do well to scan the QR code and we can talk about ways that we can partner. We're excited to announce our annual Friendsgiving celebration. This is a time to connect, celebrate culture, and uplift community. Resilient Friendsgiving is an annual, free Thanksgiving celebration hosted by the Resilient Immigrants. It brings together immigrants, their families, and allies to share food, stories, and gratitude in a warm, inclusive setting. Held during a season that can feel isolating for many, especially newcomers, this event offers more than just a meal. It creates connections, community, and a vibrant space for cultural celebrations. Through shared tradition and heartfelt conversations, Resilient Friendsgiving reminds us that we all belong. Now, for this event, we're currently seeking sponsors for the event venue, food catering, and media stroke photography. If you or your organization is interested in supporting, we would love to connect. You can scan the QR code to find out ways to support this event. Thank you. We are looking to grow our leadership team and invite passionate change makers to join us. Our resilient Our resilient immigrants, we are looking for board members to provide strategic guidance, governance, and oversight for the organization. These people will help shape the vision, ensure accountability, and open doors to networks and opportunities. We are also looking out for fundraisers. These people will lead or support efforts to raise funds through campaigns, donor outreach, events, or partnerships. Fundraisers play a vital role in ensuring that we have resources to power our programs and events that benefit numerous people. We're also in search for grant writers. Grant writers will research, write, and submit compelling grant proposals to secure funding from foundations, corporations, and government programs. Their work helps us to sustain and grow our impact. Community leaders are also something that we're on a search for. They will act as trusted connectors with immigrant communities, helping us reach more people, understand community needs, and build grassroots support for our work. Event planners will coordinate logistics, vendors, volunteers, and creative details for events like workshops, friendsgiving, and our conferences. They help bring our community, I'll rephrase that, they help bring our community gatherings to life. So if any of these roles that we're advertising speaks to you, to your skill, or piques your interest, we can talk. if you go on our social media pages, you will find the flyer and the link to apply. So now I'm going to turn it over to my team member Bewa to close it out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ira. Thank you so much. As we come to the end of today's session, I want to leave you with one powerful invitation. At Resilient Immigrant, we believe that real transformation starts with connection. By becoming a member of our community, you're not just staying informed, you are plugging into a powerful network of people who are committed to growth, resilience, and collective success. Resilience community membership perks are access to one-on-one mentorship, our resource library, global networking, life-changing experiences, and immersive opportunities. So kindly register to become a member today or and become a member. Before we go, we want a huge thank you to guests, Thomas Michael, Carl Smith, and Ayomide Ibrahim for your brilliance and authenticity. And to every single person who has joined us today, thank you for showing up, for leaning in, and for believing in the power of resilience. Until next time, keep rising, keep connecting, and stay resilient. Thank you and goodbye for now.